before I start this review, I want to say that if you don't know Frankenstein is in theaters, please go check this website that I'm going to link in the description to see if it's playing in any of your local theaters because I did not know it was playing in my local theaters already or local. It was 35 minutes away, but this isn't a movie you should wait to see on Netflix in your bedroom. This is something you should see on the big screen, and it's kind of disgusting that I think it's only going to be there for a week, maybe not even. But if you haven't seen it in theaters yet and you're watching this review, go check the link in the description. You better go watch this in theaters because to me this is one of my favorite movies of the year. Visually, this is absolutely stunning. I really just enjoy Guillermo del Toro as a director, so it was going to be hard for me to hate it. I don't have a direct connection to Frankenstein the story. I know about it. I think most people know about it. I don't know if most people have read the original book or even the 1931 movie. I could be getting the year wrong on that, but uh, I think everyone knows what Frankenstein is and some of what it's meant to be. And I think Guillermo del Toro does a great job at making sort of a modernish version of the story. I know it's not a direct adaptation of the actual book, but you can tell there was a lot of care put into this. I think this is going to be nominated, and it will win Costume Design of the Year. Usually, these type of movies that are older and have a lot of beautiful dresses and suits, the 99% of the time they're going to win. And I think Guillermo del Toro has nailed it. The costume design in this movie, whoever did it was amazing. Like every dress that Mia Goth is in is jaw dropping. Every little red piece of clothing and blanket that Oscar Isaac wears throughout the movie looks amazing, and I like that it feels like he's getting covered in blood the more and more the movie goes on. It's amazing. The costume design is probably the best part about the movie, but even then, that's not to say that there's anything really bad about this movie. I think Oscar Isaac does an amazing job at uh, presenting himself as Victor Frankenstein. I was a bit worried. I haven't liked a few of his recent projects, and it has been partially because of him, not just the project themselves, but I think he did an amazing job here. I did like him in his own story, but I really preferred him during the Frankenstein monsters tale. I thought that him as like an old or not older, not old, but old, broken down man. I think he did that part like way better. I think he was fantastic when he was more humbled and laying in the ship listening to the tale. He was brilliant. But yeah, even in the first half of the movie, even though there's a lot of exposition during the first tale of the movie, he's amazing. He really is amazing. So I'm happy Oscar Isaac is coming back into my movie life and performing way better than I was hoping. I'm really glad he is an amazing actor, so I'm glad to see him do something good again like Frankenstein. Jacob Elordi, you can't go wrong. This dude's like what 6'5", 6'6". He was amazing as Frankenstein's monster. I mean, he was so well uh, acting like a creature that was just born and has no idea about the world. All the scenes where he's playing with the water and the leaves in the first tale is absolutely amazing. When he becomes like this giant beast later throughout the movie, he does such a fucking amazing job at feeling bigger than everyone, which of course he already is, but he just feels ginormous. I also want to give a shout out during to the costume design people for Frankenstein. Uh, the art, the practical uh effects used on him to make him look like a monster looked great. But when you imagine Frankenstein, you imagine this giant, bulkier man, and it seems something more monster-like than human-like. But for this story, he's just a guy, and the costume design of him just being layered, unlayered, and layered with a bunch of clothing to make him look and appear even more ginormous was genius. I really liked it. I thought everything about Jacob Elordi was great. Uh, man, I like that he was like bluish. I can't remember if the original story, but I always imagine Frankenstein is green. But I like that he's like more. alien-like, and it feels more like an alien trying to become more human as the story goes on, less than a monster that just, crazy and strong and evil. I actually really did appreciate that choice. Mia Goth was great. I love Mia Goth. It's really hard to hate her. She doesn't really do any projects that I don't like, I believe, but everything she's been in that I've watched, I enjoy her a lot. So so I wasn't surprised that I enjoyed her in this movie again. I think her relationship with Jacob Elordi in this movie was great. You can feel the chemistry between the two, especially the first time they meet. I mean, it's absolutely jaw dropping. It feels like someone who's just discovered a new species of animal and is absolutely stunned and shocked at how beautiful a creature she just found. I loved it. Christoph Waltz was great. Uh, David Bradley was amazing. I wish we got more of David Bradley. We did get a lot of him, but he was so amazing. He was just so cute. That's such a bad word. I enjoyed his character. It was just so heartwarming, his character, and I wish we got a bit more of him, but he had to go, unfortunately. I also didn't mention I like how strong they make Frankenstein feel. Every time he's doing movements, it feels a lot louder, and when he's grabbing and throwing things, you can feel the power. When he had the wolf biting the back of his back, and he went to go rip it off of him, he just ends up skinning the whole thing and then throwing it again later at a wall. Oh, he's great. Jacob Lordy was amazing in this movie, and it does have to go to the costume and VFX crew, or with the art crew as well. Whoever did the makeup crew. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, the makeup crew. Whoever did his makeup, absolutely amazing. I mean, they picked the right person for Frankenstein. I mean, Jacob Elordi was great, and yeah, Oscar Isaac. I said it earlier, but he was a perfect mad scientist. I'm really happy he just found his footing in this movie, and it wasn't anything bad. As for how this movie looked visually, I think it did look really great. I had one problem, only one problem visually throughout this entire movie, was when we get the first Frankenstein's castle scene. If you've watched Wicked, uh, you would know that there's a lot of color in Wicked. Like they use a lot of high pinks and purples and greens throughout the movie, and same thing with this movie. You get a lot of high pinks, greens, reds, um, and blues. And for some reason, the background just feels so dull and grayed out. And I know for some scenes it makes sense, but through Wicked, it just felt like there was too much, and I didn't appreciate throughout the first appearance of Frankenstein's castle. He just looked so washed out and gray and ugly. But I'm happy as the movie went on, it looked more fitting. The castle was also just gorgeous. I mean, really, really gorgeous. I'm assuming that was CG, but the castle was amazing. I'm giving Frankenstein a 9 out of 10. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much, but 2.5 hours that didn't feel too badly paced, except maybe the first 30 minutes. But even then, I still enjoyed the first 30 minutes anyway. So if you haven't seen Frankenstein, check it in theaters. Please click the link below before you go wait for another week or two for Netflix's release, because this is a movie that's enjoyed for theaters, and it's such a shame that this is Guillermo del Toro's passion project, or even baby, as you can. It's his Frankenstein's monster, and unfortunately it's not going to be on the big screen much longer. Hopefully when Oscars come out in, what, 3 months, it comes back to the big screen, but you can never trust Netflix with that. I know they did it a couple years ago with, oh, I can't remember the movie, the silent movie. I don't remember, but you just can never trust them to re-release stuff. So if you haven't checked out Frankenstein, please see it in theaters before Netflix is released, because this might be one of my favorite Guillermo del Toro projects I've ever seen. It's pretty, it's well acted, and the story, while maybe not the same as the actual book itself, I think it does an amazing job at telling Frankenstein what Frankenstein is. It's a story of creator versus creation, a story about finding out, being a human, and finding out what being a human really is. I mean, that's what Guillermo del Toro, think, tried doing throughout this, and I appreciated it. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Please click the link below. I'm gonna keep saying it. Please watch this movie in theaters.